Episode 545 of the TV Dudes, recorded June 27th, 2025. Ironheart.
This week, we dive into the newest Disney MCU series about a mech suit building total badass Riri Williams, who falls in with a heist crew.
Well, I mean, she's got I hear Iron Man suits are expensive.
Yes, but will it cost her her soul?
We'll find out.
But first, I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. And you know some superpowered shenanigans isn't all we watched. But before we head to the diaries, folks, have you heard about patreon.com/tvdudes?
Patreon.com/tvdudes? The fuck is that?
It's how this podcast happens. Folks can support their favorite podcasts.
This one?
At a variety of tiers. For just $1 a week, you'll get twice the TV Dudes episodes. And there's higher tiers if you want to really show some support.
This week, the bonus episode is our review of Megan 2.0.
Intriguing 2.
Which, I mean, we really had a blast talking about. I just want to say that I spoil that right here and now. But hear it for yourself at patreon.com/tvdudes.
And now we can talk about our show watching. To the Diaries!
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Nick.
What did we watch this week?
Or should I call you Nickinson? You've been taking advantage of our Apple TV subscription and watching a little bit of Haley Stanfield playing...
There's not a lot of Apple shit that I've have been dying to...
It really surprised me to see you deep into an Apple series.
Well, I mean, it's Haley Steinfeld and I really like her. The anachronistic parts of it actually do help keep it kind of fun.
You got Toby Huss as her dad, right?
Toby Huss is fucking killing it as her dad. That basically she is so her favorite that he actually, in the second episode, they leave and she goes like, "Oh, take care of yourself, Emily," and goes to her sister and other child. Like, god damn.
That's great. Solid work.
Like I think the funnest part about it is basically when they have a flowery language that's like, "And let us have this party commence," but also they will every once in a while go, "Hey, what's up, Dan?" Oh no, I think that's fucked up. But I like the play on a couple of the episodes. Like the second episode is the parents leave, and of course the kids, they're teenagers and they have a party. But it's like a Victorian era, oh, let us, have hors d'oeuvres and slightly, until someone busts out until Haley Steinfeld busts out some opium.
Oh, shit, okay.
Check it. Suddenly the Asian guy's like, "Oh yeah, my fucking dad loves that shit."
Oof.
Here's a fan. He's a samurai. It's pretty cool. I think they're just trying to explain why there's a gay Asian man in the Victorian area. But yeah, Haley Steinfeld is doing a pretty good job of basically having white lady problems in, she's rich, but also it kind of does suck being a woman in that day and age,
right.
Especially an intelligent woman.
Right.
Especially when you're surrounded by a lot of dudes that are just kind of dumb.
But who are going to have opportunities
but
to
are
go
just
further
gonna, from who are like, I forget what the Anthony Mackie movie we were watching, but they can't be smarter than you.
Right.
Even though they
banker.
clearly are, clearly are. But they can't be. I mean, they obviously are.
Honey.
Also, her sister or her brother is getting married to her best friend, who she hooks up with on the regular as well. And they're obviously soulmates. They're in love, and the brother is just kind of completely oblivious until someone has to straight up tell you, "Yo, you ever wonder why it's weird that she is by Emily Dickinson's side just immediately, no matter what, whenever happens, she fucks off from you?" Oh, okay. Because otherwise he's just looking at a bed. How do you guys both fit on that bed as they wake up together and they're in each other's arms in the morning?
Emily shared moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I kind of enjoyed it. I also kept up on Murderbot, which is officially to the point where they discovered that he calls himself Murderbot. So, like, congratulations on like 7 episodes in that they've discovered the premise of the show.
Right.
Awesome. We're making so little progress on the conspiracy and the mystery. It is weird that I'm like, man, another show that wasn't Apple, slow and prestige would be like, we would have cracked this at Ep 2 and hit the ground running. I did watch some documentaries. I actually watched the Trainwreck documentary on Poop Cruise.
You said that was a little bit lackluster.
Well, I mean, you expect it to be like, oh shit, and then they tell them like they actually rescue's not coming. They have to have 3 days, and then like but then they opened up the bar for the next 2 days, and you're like, oh shit's about to get fucking lit. Actually, the bar
saved
the day. Everyone was too drunk to like really start into some shit.
Man, it sounds like instead you should just watch the fictionalized, crazier version, Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah. And a bunch of people were on a poop cruise. It sucked for them. No one died, though.
Oh. I mean, good.
Like,
for
real. It made me feel.
I'm a human.
It made me feel like a kind of a monster when I was rooting for Tiger King shit to happen.
Right.
And I was like, well, why do I care about this? Oh, because
any given Dr. Odyssey episode sounds as nuts as that.
So I watched the Trainwreck Woodstock one, which is much more of the Poop Cruise only has 55 minutes. It can't even sustain multiple episodes.
Right.
It's just not enough happens.
Get to 90.
It can't even get it to 90. But Woodstock was definitely like, oh, and then it's day 2, and then shit got popped off, and then Limp Bizkit took the stage.
Right. And then day 3 happens, and then the whole show wraps up, and we think it's good, but then 150,000 people just didn't leave.
And then
then it gets a little Project X-y.
And now there's MTV reporters looking around like with an upturned car, like some sort of Fallujah thing going on.
When the MTV reporters bail back off because like they're getting bussed out, and they bail back off the bus of like they're looking out of the bus and something bursts into flames, and they're like, "We have cameras, we can't leave. We got to be there for this." And they were like piled off the bus and like, all right, Godspeed, guys, and like really run back in like it's a war zone, and they're like they run past that flipped car,
and
they're like,
holy shit,
no man, we just left here 15 minutes ago. Like did we blink and it turned into fucking
15 minutes is an eternity in a fucking riot.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the second time I'd seen parts of that, and it's a blast.
The
Fatboy Slim needing to get out of there is hilarious.
So I also watched an untold story of Brett Favre.
Oh, yeah.
Which, of course, I being from Wisconsin and like a town that's 10 minutes away, or maybe like 20 minutes away from Green Bay, growing up in the 90s was just, Brett Favre was inescapable. I think he got signed over 92 or something. Was when he came over. And he was a god. It was weird when I went to other places and people knew about him. Like, I thought that was weird. Because I just thought, like, well, my fucking dad really loves him, and every time I go anywhere, I can't tell you how much I know about Brett Favre, having no inkling and kind of not wanting to know stuff about him.
Right.
But the documentary did show me stuff that was interesting and lined up. Like, it was interesting of like, oh, I remember like one of the worst fights my dad had was actually in 2006, I want to was in 2005, I want to say, which was the Packers losing streak.
Getting in this insight into an external pressure that lines up with some shitty times you had.
I was also a teenager, so that probably did not help of just me having, I mean, I don't think we would have had our worst fights when I was 8 years old, but
no, like everybody's doing their part, but so was Brett Favre.
Yeah. I don't think he helped. Realizing what caused that slump, I wasn't aware at the time, but really all it was is that they drafted Aaron Rodgers. And then all of a sudden, Favre couldn't fucking focus. Because he knew that he was about, they could replace him. And that fucked with him in a way that, I guess, just because he was physically fine to play the game, at least
Just
from what
his
I
head
remember.
was out of it. Yeah.
Also, people keep telling me that, like, oh, he was also charismatic for a football player, which I think was such a backhanded compliment in the 90s.
Man.
Because I was like, him? The guy that I'm pretty sure barely can put 3 sentences together? He does not seem very articulate to me.
But yeah,
But-
I mean, I guess charismatic for a football player, like,
I think they mean white.
that's what I was like, yeah.
They interviewed some quarterbacks and like, so we're going to forgive Brett Favre. Like, that's just going to happen. Like, people are going to forgive him in Green Bay and stuff and all that, and we're just going to forgive him.
Move on.
He's just going to get a pass. And that cuz is because he's white. And for real though, if a black quarterback got caught up in a welfare scandal, funneling welfare funds and taking money out of food out of the mouths of poor children
Right.
to go and feed a stadium in his personal account, then we wouldn't forgive that person.
Right.
But because it's fucking good old boy Favre, also the sex scandal was interesting to see. Jen, I forget what her actual name is, but when he was at the Jets for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and basically texting her and harassing her, and it didn't come out until like 3 years later when he was playing for the Vikings, and she was like, "Yeah, it was awful." When things come out like that, and I told the guy I was working with, I was working at a deadline a thing, and we were just talking about like, oh yeah, someone got sent a dick pic from a football player, and I was like, oh man, if I gotta just tell you what this time I was working at the Jets, and suddenly the guy got excited, and I realized I overshared, and obviously I overshared, and then he could figure out when I was only there
Right.
for a year.
Right.
Because when I complained about Favre sending me dick pics, that they didn't renew my contract for that year. So I was only there for a year, and he managed to get what was the common denominator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also they hacked her phone.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm figuring it out, Guess Who style. You know, doesn't like what year,
And they attached her name to it.
That's just like a fucking grade school mental puzzle kind of thing. That's exactly what your journalist friends are gonna do. Hacking your phone has to be illegal.
We paid a third party to hack her phone, and he opened up, admits it on a thing, and attaches her name on it. When she asked him not to, like, yeah, I'm gonna attach your name on it. We would love to interview you. Understand if you don't wanna. And like, she just coworker, like the people she was working for, just completely destroyed her.
Damn.
And she's just like, she cries on the documentary of like, and honestly, I was gonna go with that to my grave, because guess what? I've never met Brett Favre. I've never been in the same room as him. I never fucking had a conversation with him. He harassed me and sent me dick pics because he got my number.
Like, dude's got a problem.
He emailed me or whatever, and it
Yeah.
was uncomfortable, and I didn't like it, and it definitely fucked with me. Don't get me wrong; it's still sexual harassment, but it was more embarrassing than anything.
Right.
And I didn't want anyone to know about it.
And even if she had changed her mind about how she felt about that later, she should have control over how that story,
Absolutely.
how her story gets told.
Well, because man, she was going on interviews, like people on a radio show to her face, like, well, why wouldn't Brett Favre send you his dick pics? You were selling sex, and he bought in. Like, people were shitty to her.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you trying to get out of it? Well, like, I didn't bring this up. I'm not trying to get anything out of this.
Start it.
I'm getting nothing out of this.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I also realized that when he was playing for the Vikings, and I remember when that happened, and I was like, hey, Geneso, actually, if this was ever to come out, be glad it came out when he was playing for the Vikings. Because if he was still at home at Green Bay, it would have been so much worse for you.
Right.
And I know that's fucked up to say, but we actually were very betrayed by him doing that.
Yeah, and we would have... town would have come out.
And he did that to be kind of a dick. He played for the Vikings because he knew Green Bay was like as a fuck you to Green Bay because they didn't want him back, or didn't come begging him back.
Yeah.
When he retired.
Yeah, like, man, you don't leave the Dallas Cowboys and go to the fucking Eagles or something. Like,
see, we also watched a movie on Prime that I was like, what a delightful surprise.
We should say the 1-2 punch of we're going to talk about Brideheart for Patreon,
right?
And we're not even going to talk about it here, really.
Yeah,
Brideheart's fine.
Brideheart is a movie that needs to shoot its writer and kiss its editor.
Oh my god, right on the mouth.
A lot of those scenes are being saved by a cut at the right spot.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Brideheart is a great premise, good cast, flawed execution. So we came on from that, decided we didn't really care about it enough to talk about it for Patreon, and we'd figure something else out, which we did. M3 and 2. Go listen now. But we threw on Deep Cover over on Amazon. So this is Orlando Bloom, Nick Mohammed from Nate from Ted Lasso, who I've not really liked in almost anything else. And Bryce Dallas Howard, who I like in almost everything. I wanted to like her in Argyle. She's great. It's just terrible. So they're improv comics who get roped in by Sean Bean into some kind of undercover police bullshit. They're just supposed to go in and like try to buy some purses or cigarettes or something.
Yeah, contraband
from black market dudes. And hilarity ensues. They get roped into some crazy shit. They inadvertently use their kind of terrible improv skills to accidentally prove themselves. This comedy of errors fucking tickled me, and I really enjoyed this movie. Also, Orlando Bloom is hilarious.
Oh wow!
And what it took to unlock it was someone telling him, "Don't try to be funny, be double serious."
Yeah, be double serious. Yeah. And I thought that was what a delightful surprise,
dude.
The points where they are in over their head already. They're already buying coke when they're supposed to be buying cigarettes. And suddenly they get involved in a deal where these guys apparently have stolen a coke from a rival organization, and the guys come in and like, what the fuck are you doing here? And they improv even more of like, they're not selling us coke, they're buying from us.
This is ours, it's not yours.
But here's the going rate, which is like, $300,000, or saying like, hey, that's a fair offer, and then like, we're buying it, and like gets them to buy back their own coke.
Man, when they leave and
they're legends. They're legendary with the crew there.
And like, that's like just the first part. Like a bunch of shit goes their way, but like you and I were so like I was in at that moment of like, that's hilarious.
It's so great.
They're gods to these criminals now.
They take out an old
later when the proof of them being not criminals, like but being informants.
Well, the guys are basically like, someone ratted out there's an organization, and well,
the guy be them.
The guy is reasonably convinced. Like, he's like, no, I'm telling you, man, I've hung out with these guys. I've seen them do so much coke, and
like, I've seen that dude do so much coke.
Do a lot of coke, and also they killed a guy.
Right. Like they killed a dude.
They just killed a guy.
We didn't even send them there to do that. We sent them there to collect money.
Unless they radically changed the rules for cops.
Right.
Like,
you can't do any of this. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. Also, I mentioned it to Lisa of like, hey, funny movie we just watched. She had just watched it as well. The reason that she watched it was it came up because she likes Taskmaster. And Nick Mohammed was on Taskmaster.
Yay, all right.
Well, one of the things I haven't watched that much Taskmaster. The outfit that you show up in for the little interview at the start where you hand over your prize or whatever, them's the clothes you're wearing for the whole fucking thing. or at least that outfit. Like, you're going to have to dress the same.
Okay.
And it's one of those, I guess, a little bit behind the scenes rules of it, but he shows up in old school Monster Squad Dracula. With the cape and the collar and the makeup and the blood drip and all of it.
Wow.
And the first thing that somebody looks at him like, hey man, did nobody explain to you that you're going to have to wear that every day of this for every shoot, for every task? And so like he's in every task in a Dracula cape. And like, and it just seemed to be like a genuine either oversight or bad decision, but he played it to the hilt. And she was like, that dude is so weird. I have to watch, like, what else has he been in besides Renegade Nell and Ted Lasso? And Deep Cover came up. And I was like, well, I haven't really liked him in anything else besides Ted Lasso.
His career is in mid-kick right now, so I'm interested to see what he's doing. But
he was he's fucking good in this.
The secret weapon is Orlando Bloom committing extra to everything he's doing.
1,000%.
Just
It's improv. You don't need a backstory.
yeah.
He works it. Just thinking about being
war.
over there. What I saw.
You can never come back from Guantanamo the same. Wait, were you saying you were fighting for the terrorists?
Now you're starting to see it. Wait,
Oh my
what?
god, what? And then so they like catch him on a commercial where he's pizza night.
Oh god. Yeah, he's trying to bullshit 2 bartenders and confusing all his shit that he fought in Afghanistan, but he ended up in Guantanamo. And then he's like the actor that's got out of the group that's gotten the most work, but it's a pizza night commercial from years ago.
Also, Sean Beam is their like go-to handler, and it's pretty immediate. Like we were like, oh, we think he wasn't a cop, and it turns out he is.
He is. It's a little more complicated, but not much.
But not by much.
But no, they're not legitimately CIs. There's no. If you watch the trailer for it and thought that's the most implausible police,
you can't do that.
Because we were at the start, we're like, man, 21 Jump Street makes more sense than this.
Right.
Like Mod Squad makes more sense than this, and for a reason. They are definitely.
That seems like a great way to get improv comics killed. And if that's your goal, understandable. First of all,
right. Can you do it with mimes?
I
enjoyed the fuck out of that. Deep cover's worth watching.
Absolutely. I also watched Doctor Who. I'm in the Matt Smith years, and I've officially slowed down.
Yeah,
like, and it's not even like I think you're right. Like it's partially like Matt Smith is not as fun as my favorite Doctor. He's a little more weird and uncaring god than I wish, but it is more of a fact that like, wait, didn't we do a plot like this already, but with like a slightly different twist on it? Like it's already starting to repeat themes and ideas. I'm
interested when you get past here, like into the Capaldi, Whittaker, Shuda era, like are there newer plot? I mean, I haven't seen much of those. I'm wondering if this trend continues.
Well,
Are there only like a dozen Doctor Who? Is there a whole Reddit thread explaining the 10 Doctor Who plots?
They keep falling back on old villains, and I'm like, man, you guys need to. Are you able to make a new one that sticks? Does that ever happen?
What's funny is I think a lot of the Tenet, like the adipose, like I think a lot of the things there were actually new. Like the Weeping Angels were invented.
Weeping Angels were new.
Only now. Like
now they're old.
Once they're invented, now they're in canon, and they want to reuse them. And like, no, keep inventing.
No, like I really enjoy that show overall, but I think I'll have to report back once I'm a little further down the Matt Smith line. I think that's pretty much it for me. I watched some Blood of Zeus for another thing, but I don't really have a lot of strong opinions about that show. It's a pretty good Greek mythology show with okay animation, and actually pretty good 2D animation. It's just nothing revolutionary, not overly stylized. It looks like that Castlevania thing.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
But the fights aren't as well like animated, I think. And Greek mythology, I think, it has the exact Doctor Who problem as well of like, well, this only has the same amount of stories you can really tell, and good for them that they in the 3rd season they just go and do a whole new thing of like all the Titans in them actually are reawakened or whatever. So we're going past a cut of fate. So all this is new stuff. Like it's not based off of anything really. But yeah, it feels like reskin of the same types of stories. What did you watch, my man?
Well, let's see. I watched.
Did you watch more Art Detectives?
Oh, I watched more Art Detectives. The 4th episode of that. That's a once a week show. The 4th episode of that came out, and it's one of our favorite turns of phrase we picked up from doing coverage on scripts last year. Noble Rot. I forgot what the thing we were reading off of Coverfly or whatever that we were like, why would you not title this Noble Rot? Like, that's a great, like, I forgot what else it was. It was titled something else, but
yeah.
But it's, I think it's what happens to the cork inside a wine glass. Anyway, great wine term. So this is poisoning at a wine tasting. And they wouldn't normally be brought in, except that like it's a bit of a stretch, weirdly more than the previous episode about the band, because at least that was a heritage site. And they're like driving there and like, why are we going to this? And it's like an MP or somebody high up in the government. It was at the tasting, and it was like, no.
Shit.
I would like to know specifically what 2-person cop, like, police precinct is covering this. Like, let's get this as contained as, like, that's the one cop that I have to go lean on. Keep my name out of this, sir. And as I'm kind of feeling like is becoming a trend on this show, like, there's the crime, and it's frequently not really the crime.
Right.
Like they get there and this guy's dead, and come to find out it's a poisoning where they slip something into somebody's glass, but then it takes a little while to figure it out because people have been drinking all afternoon and someone sat down in the wrong, like a coat fell off a chair and gets hung up on a different chair.
Okay.
Just like the chair, like literally like the chair next to it.
Right.
And like the person that picks it up just hangs it up.
So it's just
A
through
total
common
accident. They,
happenstance.
and they're not, it was not even, it shouldn't have been a poison. Like the person who sat down was older and was on a med.
Oh.
And like, it should have just made someone else at the table puke their guts up.
Right.
Like a douchebag puke their guts up.
Right.
And they accidentally kill a dude.
Oh
who's
shit!
dead.
No.
And like, but that's still not even like, while they're there, they discover like looking at like because the government guy called in better art detective cops instead so that he could lean on him a little more. They end up with art detective cops standing in there going, "Hey man, hand me that wine label." That seems wrong. I've seen a bottle of this before.
Yeah.
And nope, you've got the wrong cops in here picking at this now. And they discover a whole fucking forgery thing. The show remains super cute. I'm enjoying it each episode. Especially that there's no big, like nobody's just evil. There's no sinister cop, like he's just a nerd and she is also a nerd who wants to do her job. His dad is up to something, but I don't think it's going to be earth-shattering. It just might fuck up his job, or it's going to be sad when he turns his dad in at the end of the season, because he fucking will.
Sure.
And so far, the funniest thing is that he definitely has a crush on this curator, who is almost as Hugh Grant. Like they're both going to have a heart attack if they outright ever touched. And he finally, this episode, asks her out, and his dad pops by, and she, like, it's not even like it becomes an awkward evening. They're British. He ruins it at the door, and she just like, I'll call you another time.
Right.
But you're watching it like, oh my god, it took like planets aligning for you two nervous fucks to like for Stephen Moyer to even ask you out.
I'm actually glad Stephen Moyer has a regular kind of gig, because I always thought that it sucked that, man, he was the perfect foil on True Blood, but he's definitely the one on that show that like, oh, Eric Skarsgård's gonna go places because he's the bad boy.
Yeah.
Anna Paquin's already slumming it here. Her career is basically going here to die. And I thought like
I think Paquin and Moyer actually are married.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, Vampire Bill actually married Sookie. But I also gather that he might be a bigger actor in England than I think of him here.
Yeah.
Because he is definitely on a lot more shows. I think of him as like that guy from True Blood.
Well, I mean, watching Doctor Who.
I think he went back home.
Watching Doctor Who, realizing that, oh, everyone I know from Game of Thrones, all these old British actors, have a working career in BBC shit that I just never like.
I just don't think of
Oh
it.
no, I don't. They weren't. It wasn't. They weren't starving before Game of Thrones happened.
Television elsewhere, adorable.
Like,
Yeah. So that's been fun. I also watched a little bit more Animal Kingdom. Jumping into season 2, it's always tough at the end of a really strong season, sometimes to move across that seam into the next season. And I'm not sure that Animal Kingdom knew. I don't know the history of this show. I know it's based on a movie from like 10 years prior, and season 1 ends with a fucking awesome season finale and like a great just middle finger like victory ending. And then they've got to time jump a little bit into what's going to be another season. Only you were kind of on top at the end of season. Like there's problems. Like there was plenty of show to go on. I get why they continued. It doesn't feel like it was totally like capped off or anything.
But from what you described in the finale, it sounds like they basically fuck the main cop that's after him.
Oh man, those cops are done. I don't even see them in the. So
they have to probably bring in new antagonists.
Yeah,
and
so I watched the first episode of season 2, and we time jumped a little bit, and Ellen Barkin's character is drinking a little too much and seems off her game, and it was an immediate like, oh man, I'm sure this is probably another good season. But it's hard right after seeing them on top to in streaming without a year between these seasons.
Yeah.
To go straight to the time. So I was like, all right. I'm going to give Animal Kingdom a few weeks before I hit play on another one.
Right.
Also, kept up with Duster, which I would highly recommend watching. I'm on episode 7 now.
Yeah, I don't even know why I'm watching Murderbot and not Duster.
It's a blast. I'm really enjoying it. It's found its silly groove for me on like this thing is the 70s from the cover of a pulp novel.
Awesome.
Like that's the vibe I finally locked in. Of
yes.
Like, okay, that's what this is. This is that painting of like the ripped shirt on the, you know.
Like how Thor in the other Marvel movies is from a textbook of Greek pantheon, but in Thor Ragnarok it's from the girl's trapper keeper of it.
Right. Yeah. This isn't the real 70s. This is the painted book cover from a pulp 70s novel.
Yeah.
And once that really clicked for me, I'm here for it. At this point, Nixon and Howard Hughes are involved. It's fucking nuts. And also still just a silly show about fucking driving a car real fast sometimes.
Sure.
Also, kept up with Poker Face, which I think is done now.
That was in episode 10, which was the episode count the first one had.
I feel like that's probably it.
Well, it does have a carry through. The crime itself doesn't feel like a season ender, but it has a follow through from the previous episode that does feel significant. Yes. And that it will carry forward.
The Patty Harrison character, I am here for this Rizzolian Isles.
Well, the previous episode, she really came in for that one scene, and I was
there's going to be one more.
There's one more?
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right. Good lead up, because this didn't feel quite like... So one more, hopefully, with Patty Harrison developing the new status quo.
She has to clear the name of a friend caught in a compromising position, so that'll either be Patty Harrison or Good Buddy himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't seen it'll be Steve Buscemi. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't pay for just his voice.
No.
They, so, this one is about a gym bro having like a what do you call it, a eco-friendly gym.
Fucking Method Man from Wu-Tang.
So Method Man is such a better actor. He turned out to be such a better actor than I thought anyone should be.
He has so much charm.
He's
screen.
So charming.
He's got that charisma presence. He's funny every time.
When he starts to cry, like during it, like what the, he starts to lose to the health to Jason Ritter, and it's believable.
Are you doing karate, man? See, I told you were.
You have a lean body type. Like it was like no ego on the guy. He's losing a fight to Jason Ritter of all fucking people, and like
I also love that he means well, but he is that gym bro that doesn't listen to you.
Yeah.
Because when his wife's like, he's a health inspector. No,
why would you say that? Hey,
flashes back.
Hey, I'm Randy. I'm a health inspector. God damn it. So, talk about dumb. This might be the dumbest reason a death happens. And this one is it's more manslaughter than anything.
Because his wife is totally willing to like, honey, we'll just
eat the consequences on it.
Yeah.
Because we think it's going to be steroids or whatever. Like, health inspector guy is willing to, hey, go give me steroids.
Right.
And I don't think he's trying to catch him in a lie.
No.
He actually wants steroids.
No, like he's about to go to his 10-year reunion and wants to whoop his bully's ass.
But it turns out the good stuff is breast milk from where his wife
breast
works.
Milk from, yes. And she's carrying a tote bag. It's pretty obvious.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's human breast milk. It's like, it's basically like workplacebonebuds.com.
Yeah.
From, Terry, like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, how Terry's always looking for, something to help recovery, and Charles makes the bone broth.
The health inspector.
This is the good stuff.
So the health inspector basically threatens to take him out or whatever, and he like starts to throw shit at him until he throws one at like, was that a discus throw?
Oh man, as dumb as it was, this was my moment where I was like, haven't we seen that in the
Good
previous
back crawl.
one? The Fitbit called me back to the Judith Light terrorist episode.
No,
but it honestly they don't use it for the solve here.
I had my repeat. Aren't we repeating stuff last episode? And you had yours this episode of like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because you use it. It doesn't quite come down the same, but they reuse it a little bit, and it feels a little fast to be reusing things like this. But the joke of it is hilarious because it calls out, "Are you doing karate? Are you doing aerobics? Are you do?" And it's Method Man every time.
Yeah.
Lift, laugh, love. Yeah. So when it, man, it also cracks me up because Wu-Tang Man, protect your neck. Like
I didn't think about that.
He hits him square in the fucking throat with that weight.
I mean, come on.
It's like, that's on you, dude.
Yeah. The Patty Harrison is
she's the best addition to the show in a year.
She's excited. She wants to have the adventures. Like Natasha Lyonne is doing it despite not wanting to do it.
Right.
So it's nice to have someone that wants to be on the adventure.
And like Patty Harrison started like 11 businesses. 2 of them have resulted in prosecution or litigation. Also, I love that they don't outright establish it till like the last scene, but you can tell all episode Patty Harrison's weirdness is that she doesn't see any point in lying, even the little bit of a lie that people tell just to not make other people's days weird.
Yeah.
And she doesn't bother with that.
Well, who are you having a conversation with?
Yeah. That is a beautiful line. If you ask me a question and I lie, then who are you even having a conversation with?
So, the 2 people that can't have friends because one can tell, like, just knows every time a person is lying, and then the one person that will never...
You've got very few friends, 0 friends.
The one that always tell, like, that will never not tell you the truth, like, is... That's a great match made in heaven type of thing, and I love that she works out her message at like help.
You could have done elbow raises and it would have been yeah, shut up. Yeah.
But as far as an engine for the show, I hope they don't ditch Patty Hearst because that's a great Patty Harrison. Patty Harrison is a great engine to keep like, oh, okay, she's gonna start the detective agency that Natasha Lyonne helps out with reluctantly.
No, this turns into a psych show I want to watch.
And honestly, they can keep it in New York. Yeah, they can just keep doing New York.
I would stay in Good Buddy's apartment. New York's a great place for it. Like to keep doing this,
or they can keep traveling around. I'm not. She still has the car.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know where she's keeping that car in New York, but
I don't either. God damn, that's got to be expensive.
I mean. Unless that they got rent controlled parking on that fucking
shit. That's just paying a homeless dude to live next to your car, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, one more to go on this. I'm assuming we're gonna get to see some Buscemi. Buscemi.
And I want to see what because I was a little down on this season because I really didn't know what we were doing or where we were going. It didn't feel like the show had a specific direction, which I know it doesn't really. It's a fucking whodunit every episode. It doesn't really need an overall arc or direction, and Good Buddy is supposed to be the arc in direction, but
he's
not really.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that it'll show me a great way of like, oh, here's how we continue this show going forward.
They've not been renewed, but Ryan Johnson has said that he'd be happy to do, like he would love to do.
I think that this is Poker Face is one that I don't think it really matters as long as the viewership doesn't tank.
Right.
I think they're just going to do it as long as they can say Ryan Johnson produced or whatever. Right.
And as long as Natasha Lyonne wants to fucking do it. I mean, honestly, this feels like a show they're just enjoying doing.
Right.
And they'll do it as long as people will let them.
This is just so they can have all celebrity friends work. It actually kind of reminds me of the studio.
Right. Just having people pop over or do your fucking show. Also, it still fits that I can't have a Knives Out movie every single year, so I guess this is what I get in between.
Yeah.
And it works for that. But that's been about, I think, all my watch-ins.
I mean, we did watch a little revival. We'll talk about that next week.
We're going to talk about that next week on the main thing. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
With our girl Winona Earp.
Indeed.
Fucking Mrs. McMurray.
She's so, god damn it, she's funny. I mean, in everything. Like, I have not watched a lot of Winona Earp, but her timing and shit on Revival, which is not exactly a comedy, but she gets some.
I don't know how many times I got to revive to get a cocksucking gin and tonic around here. That's all I know.
Oh man, yeah. The second episode of that. We'll talk about it next week.
But yeah, now that we're through with that, let's go over to Ironheart.
Ironheart.
When I got back from Wakanda, I felt stuck. To bring my ideas to life, I need cash.
Crazy, gotta go crazy.
Come work for me.
I assume these jobs aren't exactly legal.
Not exactly. So you in or out?
We Ocean's 11 or The Sopranos?
What's the difference?
Let's talk about Ironheart. The first new Marvel Disney show in quite a while, in a minute.
Ironheart.
Ironheart. It's an American television miniseries created by Chinaka Hodge for the streaming service Disney Plus, based on Marvel Comics, featuring the character of the same name. A character called Marvel Comics? No. A character called Ironheart. It's the 14th television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you may not have watched all of them. I don't know. It sees MIT student Riri Williams return home to Chicago after the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where she discovers the secrets that pit technology against magic. Yeah, I didn't realize how much actual magic was going to be in this show, but we'll get to that in a moment. Dominique Thorne reprises her role as Riri Williams. It's also got Manny Montana, Lyric Ross, Jim Rash is in it, Eric Andre's in it for a minute, Cree Summer.
Yeah, Jim Rash is the MIT guy from Civil War with the self-heating hot dogs or whatever his dumb idea was in that movie.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes, Solo. And Anthony
The one
Ramos.
that isn't Ansel Elgort.
Yes. And man, fucking Anthony Ramos, who is having a great couple of years, and we love in everything.
Anthony Ramos
Dumb
is
Money,
fucking,
Rise of the Beast, all of it.
Yeah, in like a big villain role here, so like, and that'll only help his career. I really like that guy. Can't wait till the G.I. Joe crossover. But yeah, this takes place right after
Wakanda Forever. Yeah.
Basically.
I didn't know what to expect with this show. I mean, I knew it was going to have an Iron Man-ish suit in it somewhere, but I don't really know Riri Williams from the comics. And I didn't really know what to expect. But it's been a minute since a Marvel show, and I was excited just to have a little bit of Marvel TV. They dropped 3 at once of a 6-episode series, I believe, so I think it's going to be 3 more next week, and that's it.
Right.
And when we sat down last night, I was like 3 48-minute episodes. Man, I'm not that excited for this show. We finished Ep 1, and I was immediately like, fuck yeah, Ep 2. And then we finished Ep 2, and I was like, I'm so glad there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then they finished 3. I'm like, I'm so glad they're dropping all 3 next week. I really enjoyed that show so far.
I think there's a lot of cool, smart decisions going on here in the little macro stuff. Especially it could just be that I've just watched just watching Daredevil Born Again,
right? Which was just a mess and weird. And
this has gone back to, and I think not insultingly, to She-Hulk and Miss Marvel levels of. I actually really liked those shows.
Yeah,
I think retroactively people are like, well, like Marvel really fucked up when they. I think they fucked up in giving us too much. That is correct. They gave to us too much Marvel, but I don't think that makes those shows bad.
No. And I think that this marries up the cooler action fight heist type stuff that you might see in a Winter Soldier type thing with that kind of fun, deep into a character, deep into a culture and a neighborhood and a family. Like Riri gets kicked out of MIT at the very start of this. And I think the first decision that made me feel like, oh shit, this show might be fun is when she goes into just a very fucking cliche, like, well, this is why MIT just makes me, I'm tired of being made to feel small. It reminded me of the Community episode where I think it's Paget Brewster is like, Nine, the decision maker. That's me.
You really like that speech.
I do. Well, because it's so great that she gets to do it twice in an episode. And the second time it's in like the normal world. And the guy looks at her and goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And like,
what an insane thing for a person to say.
As Riri was going into this speech, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to start rolling my eyes. Like, this is a little bit fucking cliche, even for a cheesy. And
want me to be small. And then her fucking academic advisor.
Black academic advisor's like, bullshit.
Bullshit. No, okay, who asked you to be small? No, for real.
No,
give me
for real.
Names.
Yeah, oh,
this is MIT.
Hilarious.
We want you to get big so we can exploit you.
Right? Are you kidding me? And like that's great. And then, man, then later on, the show has the villain make exactly Riri's argument there.
Right.
And like, yep, the show knows that it feels good emotionally, but it's not the grown up argument.
So there is a possible. I don't want to say because I haven't seen the last 3 episodes, but there's a possible problem with the show, and I don't know for sure. It depends on if the show knows what they're doing in setting up Riri Williams.
Right.
If the show knows they're setting up a flawed protagonist that really needs to learn a big lesson by the end, then the show is doing gangbusters and he's doing exactly what it needs to do. But I've also seen shows where they drop the ball and they don't realize that they've overcracked and made a protagonist worse. Like
So I assume you're talking about when she leaves a man to die.
Holy shit! So when she gives that speech, I was worried, but she immediately gets clapped back on. So I was like, okay, so the show knows what's going on. And we're left on a cliffhanger with the next one. So the show can't clap back on.
Right.
Yo, she fucking left that guy to fucking die.
And they didn't do any like extra sound whispery anything, so I don't think that they're going to try to play the card of the piece of cloak corrupting her or something.
No.
So like I don't think they're playing that card. I'm with you. Like that this could be a problem. I could absolutely see them ignoring it and it being a flash moment of like, are we just going to pretend Barry didn't kill that dude in season 1?
Yeah.
And she's going to lecture somebody later about murder. But I'm 60-40, maybe 70-30. I think the show knows that she really has to learn. They've had enough people look at her and not just jokingly say, boy, you're fucking up Tony Stark's legacy. But like, hey, so you're a criminal.
Yeah.
You're being a criminal. No, I'm doing it for the right. Cool. We're all doing it for the right reasons. You're a criminal.
The rest of the show has given me faith going forward. Like if I wasn't enjoying the show beforehand, I might be like, fuck the next 3 episodes. But it's given me faith that the fact that like...
I'm not used to Disney shows taking that big a morality swing.
No. Yeah. And you could explain it away in like the fog of battle, like she didn't really know she was going to leave that guy behind. But as far as being a hero... fuck up. She has not saved a single person.
No.
Actually, her number is in the negative.
She didn't stand there at the door and watch him die.
Sure.
She just didn't hold the door. She didn't go get him in the suit when she could have. And he was just trying to fucking kill her.
Right.
But still, it's the difference between like, hey, I understand that as a person trying to also stay alive. As a hero wearing an Iron Man type suit.
Yeah.
If you're really building this suit so that especially like, and I think this might be why the show does know. They've made a big point about why is she building that. I mean, because she can. But why is she building that suit? Because no one should ever be able to say, I didn't have time or ability to rescue you.
Right.
And so when that suit saves her, the one thing she should be able to do with that suit is snatch up the other dude in that room and escape. Yeah. That's the whole point of the suits, right?
Right.
And that she didn't do that for someone else's family member is so directly in line that like you said, it is either going to be a like knock it out the park, like hear the crack of the ball, or hit, or it's going to be a whiff that fucks the show up and I can't rewatch it.
And the show, because what I'm thinking back now and on, it was Riri's supposed to be knocked out or incapacitated, and then that was Natalie piloting the suit that left that guy there. Because if so, the show didn't fucking get that across.
They didn't show me that.
They didn't get
enough.
that across.
I know she's breathing, but she says
she was coughing,
I'm okay.
but
she's conscious.
She's conscious. She's
all
all
right. They
right.
show her that. But yeah, I'm interested to see we all know there's a million ways that a show can re-show you the same thing again. I mean, we just watched it in Doctor Who with like, did she say fall from the sky? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So like, there's a million ways that shows love to recut something and say no. But
otherwise, that's the only really flaw I can find with the show is that Riri might be too much club. But otherwise, the way she is flawed is incredibly interesting to me in the fact that she thinks she's so much better than the other criminals.
yeah,
Like, she has this real arrogance.
no, she's not a criminal.
Yeah. Even though, like, no, man, well, it's the same reason you got, in the show knows, like, too, that she didn't get kicked out of MIT because of some bureaucratic bullshit or even racism. She got kicked out of MIT because she helped people cheat.
Right.
Like,
Right. No, like she sold a ton of people homework.
Right. That's
Like finished, completed homework at inventions and shit.
like fucking pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
You got to be like, nah, man, that's our rule. We got to like let you go.
Because I feel like it was my feeling from that meeting that every single person she sold anything to that they caught is thrown out as well.
Yeah.
Like all of you.
Yeah. All of them they got caught for cheating.
Like
they're
that's
all
probably
gone.
like a whole grad program.
Yeah.
It's like out of MIT now.
Honestly, probably pretty embarrassing for them.
Right. Didn't you guys honestly, I'd love it if another Marvel show was like, yes, Stark University got this contract because MIT doesn't have a robotics department anymore. Rebuild year.
A rebuild year.
It's a rebuild year. Don't say her name.
But she leaves with her suit.
With her suit, which looks fucking awesome.
And she paid, like, it's from her grant or whatever, so she gets allowed to keep the suit, right?
Yeah, I love that somebody's like, no, she
actually
keeps
built
it. That. Fuck.
Well, that's the reason she was selling a bunch of her shit, so that she could
be building on
building
suit.
on that suit the whole time, and it not be like MIT's property.
I like the recognition that
from the Black Panther. Remember when she that vibranium detector thing that she built? Obviously, like that fucked her before, so she's not making that mistake again.
Right.
But also, it's why she needs all that fucking money.
Right.
To like.
And I just love the pointing out that like you can be Tony Stark smart, but you can't really build an Iron Man suit with all the casual. Throw some red and gold in there. If you don't have like helper bot and all this shit,
$1 billion fucking dollars,
Yeah.
because you need like, hey, you know how much these materials cost? Like,
just even like Tony's fucking hologram 3D fucking bullshit. So she manages to rig up like, well, first she steals that suit, or steal it. She leaves in that suit, flies home,
but her goddamn fucking MIT AI,
her little
pencil-y,
fucking clippy
which
looking
is
AI.
clippy, like.
And I love that it is MIT's student helper bot
Hello.
AI thing. And she's hacked it to do some extra stuff, but at its core, it is still tied to her student email and shit, and they shut that off. And so it boots her out of her suit and wrecks it. Like fucking wrecks it.
Bam.
But then from there, when we go through some science-y whatever, and we meet her family, when she then figures out like, well, I've got to develop a new AI to help run the suit, and she's going to use some like half legal black market brain mappy shit she's developed to do it. That whole thing that could have gone sideways so easily for me, and like that whole thing resulting in an AI that looks like her dead best friend, and like the way the AI glitches because of her PTSD, and then finding out that it's not just her friend's memories because it's built off her, it's got other memory mixed in.
Yes.
Like all of that I thought was beautiful. But then also it's got jokes. When she hooks that thing up and is like, okay, commencing brain scan. Day and a half? The fuck?
What the heck?
Like,
No.
or whatever it takes.
Like 4 hours. Or,
yeah. She's like, oh my God. And like, that's why she ends up kind of, bird walking off in her mind and thinking about her friend and dreaming and stuff. And that's what I love, that's the what makes it work. That's the special.
There's a lot of emotional beats in here that surprisingly hit home in the fact that Natalie, her best friend, is the memory of her best friend, and the show kind of knows that. Like Riri is like, you're not her, you're my memory of her mixed into an AI. Fuck you, I'm deleting you.
But I love that instead of doing the normal way you show that, of butting up against a thing that I can't know because you don't know. Like, well, you can't really be my dad because my dad would have actually known about he and mom's first date because I don't. And like instead they play the opposite. She knows something that she can't know
Yeah.
because she has Riri's memories of other people too, particularly her stepdad. That really weirdly hit. That was beautiful.
That was surprising, and I've never seen it before. That was unique to that.
Yeah.
And I like that showing especially Disney showing a stepdad that is cool and not like
Yes,
evil.
man, Gary's awesome. Gary's fucking awesome. Her mom's really fun. All her mom's fucking witchy friends
I like
are
that
really
the
fun.
mom sees Natalie and is totally cool with this AI and built, and I'm like, oh man, you're surprisingly with this, until I realize she asks,
Oh, can you make a Gary?
can you make Gary? And I was
no,
like,
this isn't
oh,
healthy.
This is your hope for
I've seen this
like,
Black Mirror. Yeah.
and she's got to tell her mom like, man, it was an accident making this one.
Right.
And I probably shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Right. I really shouldn't have that. Man, the show's got a lot of nice parallels because like she really shouldn't have that, and it's kind of eating at her a little bit if she can't learn to use it right. It's not entirely different than what's going on with the Hood. He really shouldn't have that thing, and it's eating at him when he uses it. They're very different, but they are both having trouble with how they deal with their power up, basically.
Right.
And talking about the Hood, Anthony Ramos' character, and his whole fucking gang. These are D-listers, man. I don't know any of these people from the comics.
Well, the Hood is such a low rent
He's
villain.
pretty new, in my opinion.
He's like controls all crime in like all low rent crime in New York, and like I forget I'm like, wait, isn't that like Kingpin and also like a Tombstone, but also like wait, not all of you can control all of it. Wait.
Right. Like man, the tears have to feel insulting to some of you, right?
I think they explained that Red Hood, like the Hood is in charge of like low level crime, like thug stuff. I don't know.
You can't be grand theft, like pickpocketing below $1,000.
Yeah.
Like this just feels insulting though.
But he can like turn himself
Who
invisible.
audits this?
He can turn himself. Yeah, because they have rankings for that sort of thing.
Man.
It's the number one assassin because they have rankings for that sort
I
of thing.
would write the worst Marvel comic series ever about the fucking dill holes that do the accounting for this shit.
Hello, Mr. Pin, first name King. We're here to see exactly how where you rank in villain corporate
You
world.
could list out all your scores, the take, how many people were involved. It's like small businesses. Like you can't have crews over 50.
All right. Well, you did do that team up, but it was also with Osborne Technology, so we're gonna give him 30% of the take on that. And
This qualifies as a militia, and you're going to need insurance.
like a even shittier damage control comic.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, you can't let me be in charge of this, man. It's damage control meets 100 bullets, but just lame.
But
So they've got Slug and Clown. They've all got dumb names that are great. And then Eric Andre, who really, really wants to be called Rampage.
yeah,
And I loved it. All of them, like Clown and Slug. Like, these are dumb names. And they're all like, no, never happening, man.
I'm wondering what they're gonna show because Rampage ends up dead, but they don't really show what happened to Rampage.
No.
So I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna show, because the logical conclusion is that Hood took him out.
Right.
But I'm like, I wonder why or in what context, or Riri tells that to what's his name before he gets snuffed out. We don't do loose ends. We don't keep loose ends around here. And he was kind of vague about it, and I was like, I'm wondering if something happened with Rampage that wasn't exactly like, did Riri leave this guy here to die when he wasn't actually trying to kill her?
Right.
Like, is it going to show in retrospect that they actually weren't?
Or is Rampage gonna, like, are we gonna end up with like Eric Andre as a ghost in the machine? Because I do feel like we're getting.
I suppose we're past that at this point, since Hood killed the latest.
Right. We're already a murder past that now.
Although he only had to kill that guy because Riri fucked up the fucking plan.
Right. Because she was trying to cut a piece out.
Not to blame her on everything, but maybe during a heist wasn't the time to do the thing.
Like when she said she's not a criminal, I thought she meant morally, not just being bad at it. But I like their heist they're doing. We had a moment immediately. They take so much money off the first heist that we were like, what does Red Hood need? Like, what is he saving up for or whatever? And I think that we're correct when we were discussing that, like, he's doing some kind of you get me 3 souls deal.
Yes.
Those contracts they're signing are for the demon that runs that hood.
The contracts were a weird specific, like the first
I
one.
love those.
The first one was like, okay, so you're going to sign your contract, so you have
all
six-figure
right.
salaries.
I like lawyer criminals.
You're part of the. I like that we're on staff. We're on salary.
Right.
Like we're not even stealing this in money laundering. You're just actually paying us on the payroll.
I think those details are burying another detail.
Like, and it's like, whoa, what a great crime, because it's technically not a crime. We're just paying these guys to not be robbing you.
I just got you to sign it under duress.
Yeah. But then the second time it happened, I was like, oh, a contract again? That seems so specific. And I was thinking that, oh shit, the hood is supposed to be from a fucking demon. And I was like, oh shit, like what do you call it? Like
it's a Faustian bargain kind of thing.
Thingy.
Yeah.
Like,
what kind of fucking crossroads contract are we signing here?
Right. And because my original thing was like, he got money from the first heist, and he's going to get power from the second heist, and then he's going to be able to do, or the next plan or whatever is going to be what he actually wants to do.
And I think it's that these 3 are supposed to get him out from under his deal or something, but by the end of the 3, he's not going to want it out.
Well, he's really upset when his cousin died. Like, he almost, like, I think he says, like, what was the point of all this? Yeah, it's hard
I think that's why the cloak wanted the cousin dead.
Yeah. Well, the cloak fucking narcs on Riri.
Yes.
By the end, which I
love. I love that.
Because you also said, why doesn't the hood say, like, can it feel that it's getting cut? And I was like, well, I mean, loosey-goosey magic rules, right? But then when it showed that later, I was like, oh, wait a minute. So it intentionally did not show so that what's-his-name cousin could die.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, okay, showing me this later makes me think that the hood chose not to show him previously.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great. And yeah, he can curve bullets. He can go
bend bullets. He can go invisible if he holds his breath, which is a fun limitation.
That's great. Like, I think that's Kitty Pryde's same limitation on her phasing.
And like his fights look cool, and they've got 2 fighter twins, the blood twins, that are also, they're fun. Like, they're ridiculous, but they're fun to watch fight. I really like how their fucking action scenes work. They've also got Slug, who's their hacker. I love the Madripoor name drop. That like, I'm one of the most wanted people in Madripoor, and like, shit, that means something. That's awesome. And then we've got Clown, who is their exploses, like
pyrotechnics,
like a female Don Cheadle Basher from fucking Oceans.
All right, hang on to your knickers. So the first heist makes sense because there's in this tunnel that transports cars, which feels like a
very overcomplicated,
pretty inefficient.
Not the heist, the car thing.
Pretty inefficient subway, I gotta say.
Right. Like, this is just like the worst trains.
But Riri needs to fly a USB, so I'm like, okay, they actually need a suited up person to actually do this part of the heist.
Right.
The second part of the heist, she's on Overwatch, and if the plan had gone right, they don't need her there.
Right.
In fact, the plan goes wrong, and she doesn't really help out that much either.
Right. No, she does not need to be there for the second one.
So there's a little bit of like because an Iron Man suit should be able to do whatever all these people could do in like 10 minutes. Like, it shouldn't really, like, these are some low level criminal stuff. Like, and an Iron Man suit immediately gives you a power level of an Avenger. That is, so we haven't seen a lot of the Ironheart suit do a whole lot. I'm thinking they're saving that for the third, or the second drop of 3, but it did do a cool thing with the Addams Family like thing crawling, where she controlled the hand.
Her glove and part of her forearm gauntlet popped loose, and with her, you can see the rings on her fingers still controlling it, like the haptics.
Yeah,
and so she's just still laying there with her hand moving.
Yeah.
But you watch the thing crawl, and I was like, yeah, she's got a heads-up display. She's watching the hand.
And it's
like,
a thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, whoa, I can't believe you've done it. I thought you could show me. It's a thing that I haven't seen an Iron Man suit do.
Right.
Which I was shocked of, like, oh, I didn't think there was any things left.
Right. Because we've seen something a little bit like the suitcase suit unfolding onto Tony is not entirely different than the suit opening up and walking into the room and just bending over and picking her up.
I liked that.
That was really nice. It felt very
like
safety cradling her.
Yeah, like a bug shell kind of grabbing out. Like,
but it's still like that was different, but not so different that I felt like I'd never seen it before. The hand thing was an immediate like, how's that not been done?
Yeah,
How's
so
that
cool.
That's so cool. And it does look like in the next set of 3, she gets her whatever her final suit is and gets to fucking fight.
Yeah.
Which, cool. I'm looking forward to what they're going to do. They've got to do some kind of turn with her realizing, at the very least, that she's not a criminal. She's going to have to go up against the Hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also am really interested to see, whether it's Mephisto or what. Like, what demon is it? Dormammu? What has he made a deal with? Or is it something new? Also, this show is probably going to do something to further another larger ongoing Marvel thing.
What's the next one up?
Fucking not sure.
No, they're trying to do multiverse. Like they were.
So Thunderbolt's finished.
Fantastic Four doesn't seem like.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is coming. But I'm wondering, like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to set up with all this demon stuff. I'm wondering, like, what's the next Doctor Strange
put a hold
thing?
on a lot of the television stuff so far to a point where I don't really know if. For me, I would think they have kind of enough kids now to do a Young Avengers.
We got to be close. Well, you'd said earlier of like the Hood's gang is the perfect gang for them to go up against.
Absolutely.
And like there should be a younger, like give me fucking Hawkeye and Riri and
Kamala
and Scar and whoever else you could fucking. Where's Nova?
Man, they haven't done even a Nova core movie yet. Like,
yeah, they'll get there. They've done the Nova core. I mean, like they've been in Guardians.
Right? Aren't they like? Didn't they get killed by Thanos since he grabbed the one of the other
who
stones?
Hasn't been killed by Thanos by now? It's like half the universe.
No, but they didn't get snapped. I think they got fucked up before that happened. Like they're like gone.
They're like gone. Like real dead, not snap dead.
Hey, there's different degrees of dead in the Marvel universe.
You were dead. I think you were snap dead. What are you gonna bring that every single time?
Her stepdad and Natalie are drive-by dead.
right.
Which is pretty traumatically dead.
I'm enjoying the shit out of this so far.
We didn't we didn't mention actually Ansel Elgort, which I think he
true.
deserves a mention.
Does.
He's a fun.
He's not who I thought that. I honestly thought they were going a different direction with him. I'm not quite sure what his deal is with the "don't touch tech, your brain will go nuts."
We've gone so far past in Marvel Comics, and I haven't read Marvel Comics in so long that I'm like, I actually don't know who he could be. Like, I don't have a theory of a small sub character he could be. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
his name's like Joe McGillicuddy.
Yeah,
but then when they reveal who he is, I still don't know like what that really means. It's just one of those like
Ezekiel Stane.
Yeah, okay, you're Zeke Stane. Okay, cool.
Well, I like that.
I mean, I know who your dad was. You showed the picture of him.
I like that he's kind of a pussy,
but there's something about they've got all that tech in the bunker, and he's really like not supposed to touch it.
Well, he's never touched it because he's afraid that he'll be like his dad, and his lesson to impart onto Riri is that like. So I came with you with inspired. You inspired me to make a bunch of schematics, and like he's come to and he's excited about. Some of them seem silly, but they're all bio. What do they call it? What do you call it?
Bionics.
Bionics.
Yeah.
So his idea is to not hardware to put over a human body. It's to put into a human body to make human bodies better.
And I still feel
organ transplants.
Second stomach for
food poisoning. Like he has a lot of cool ideas, and she comes back with the one that, hey, so what one could make me invisible to fucking security cameras,
metal detectors and security cameras.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I came with you, and you just want the one I made that, and only for specifically illegal purposes.
That's definitely criminal, dude. Yeah.
and he mentions in the story like, yeah, and apparently I did not know this in the Marvel MCU. They said that Obadiah Stane died in a plane crash. I thought everyone knew he was Ironmonger.
Yeah, I love finding out that, like, no, that was a cover story because he was really rich and a COO of Stark Industries.
Right. I just thought that was supposed to be the cover story for, so they didn't have to admit Tony Stark was Iron Man. But then he blows that up at the end of the Iron Man movie.
But no,
so
they still did that just for the company PR.
And he's like, okay, so that's a lie. My dad died trying to kill Tony Stark with a bunch of fucking tech that kind of looks like what you're fucking doing.
Yeah.
And I liked him kind of being the other side of things. Someone is from that background, from that experience, is telling her not to do the criminal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Hood telling her to do the opposite, who seems like a cool dude and a good leader.
Right.
And she's actually kind of slowly corrupting Ansel Elgort into like, one, I like that he's excited to go through some tech and stuff, but also I'm a little nervous of anyone that's that excited. But what does he mention? He says, oh, so hypothetically, if someone was to use a neural map of creating an AI, how would that fall morally, like your tech morally wise? He's like,
Alden Ehrenreich. Who is Ansel Elgort then?
Oh, Ansel Elgort is Baby Driver. Did I say?
You said Ansel Elgort.
Damn it!
Divergent, Carrie, Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Ansel Elgort is Baby Driver. Alden
Driver.
Ehrenreich is Han Solo.
Okay. And these are different people.
They're different. I swear to God, they might be.
Fucking weird.
They're very similar looking, very weirdly German named people.
So weird.
I'm here for the rise of the third Ehrenreich. No?
No. That kid can't be 1,000 years.
Yeah, what was it? It depends on the morality of the person that scanned the brain, like ethically, like
right.
Whether or not like morally or whatever is neutral, is just technology. Ethically, it would depend on the ethics of the person that scanned the brain.
Yeah,
like you're trying to like. I like that his moral relativism and gray answer of like, no, it all depends on what what you want to do. Like a piece of tech isn't inherently immoral or moral. Like
all these things are part of, and the way that his schematic imagination just came alive when he literally like physically touched something.
Yeah.
I still am not sold that he is not lab grown.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is some kind of project that Stain made or something.
Well, he shows up with like a thing like, oh, I grafted a metal underneath my arm.
I was really surprised that he hadn't accidentally discovered he was metal under his arm.
At first, and maybe it's just because ever since Agent S.H.I.E.L.D., I've been on the lookout, but I'm like, LMD!
Yeah, he's
LMD!
a life model decoy. God damn it.
It's a fucking decoy.
Have you been to Tahiti?
you motherfucker.
Because, yeah, there's something up with him. And yeah, his speech about, like, tech not being either way, it made me wonder, like, man, is this going to come down to you? Like, you're not moral either way, you're just you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's got to be something. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop on him.
If there wasn't already
his live, laugh, love thing is fucking weird. Yeah, right.
I would be like, oh, he's got to be the Tinkerer.
Right.
But we've already done a Tinkerer.
His live, laugh, love thing cracks me up.
He's so basic.
Well, it's part of what makes me feel like somebody like programmed him with things that are normal.
Yeah.
Of like, no, would a weird guy it's not a creepy bunker. Would a creepy bunker have that sign? Like, yes, it would. It really would. It's a neon.
It might be a little too much hat for this show.
Right. A little too much helmet.
There's already a lot going on, and they already have a lot of sub characters.
Yeah, they may not. They may not be. It may just be enough that he's a weird techie dude trying to live on his own.
But where they leave it off on these 3 episodes is pretty much like, well, she can't be with the crew anymore because fucking. Unless he keeps that close to his vest if he needs her for the next job.
Mm-hmm.
But like once that job is done, I'm fucking coming after you.
You can't trust her
because she doesn't know she's been made.
I don't think he's going to be able to be cool because of it being personal.
Right.
I think shit's about to go off, but she doesn't have a crew of her own. otherwise. Like, she's alone.
What if he tries to make Riri sign a contract?
Well, and he doesn't know about Natalie.
That's true. Well, no, like no one knows about Natalie, which is why she gets away with someone else piloting the fucking
Right.
Ironheart suit of.
Which is just classic Iron Man. Love that shit. Love the Tony move.
I'm actually not here.
Yeah. I'm so excited that there's 3 dropping next week and we're just gonna have all of it. That's fucking awesome.
I kind of like that model. It seems to be the split difference between binge all at once and the once a week trying to get word of mouth buzz, probably.
Because if you dropped all 6 at once, somebody in your friend group or tangential online friend group will watch all 6, and you'll have watched 3 because they're each nearly a fucking hour, and then somebody's going to inevitably spoil the back 3. And then some portion, like a measurable portion of the audience that did watch the first 3 will be like, fuck it just got spoiled for me, who cares?
I would very much consider having that be the new distribution model, just so we could bring back mid-season finales.
Yeah,
in a way, like, hey, if you have a 10 episode series, drop 5 and have a big fucking reveal in Ep 5, the big game changer in Ep 5 that you're gonna sit on for a week, and let everyone like fucking sit with it and then theorize and like I think this could, and you could get all the water cooler stuff still.
Right. No, when they get ready to do the Lost reboot, just do it this way.
Just so like they're trying to do like figure out the split difference of binging versus
that weird thing they did with dropping the last 2 Stranger Things. Like, everybody's trying to find the way to make water cooler conversations happen again.
Yeah.
And to me, this works pretty well. You just got to find the amount that we all want to binge a little bit, but find the amount that we can actually watch so that we all be caught up to the same point so we can discuss.
3 is pretty good.
3 is pretty good. So I recommend everybody go watch the first 3 of Ironheart.
Yes.
It's on Disney Plus, Hulu.
I greatly enjoyed it. I laughed. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I laughed a lot.
Same.
Watching it. Like,
Same.
We didn't mention it, but it's pretty funny.
It's fucking funny. It's got jokes. It's got a great soundtrack. It's fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Got a bunch of bops in it. The effects look fun. The fights are fun. I'm a sucker for Anthony Ramos, and I like the hood. I like how unabashedly lame, like a D&D
the hood
fucking dungeon
looks
master.
So dumb. It's great.
I mean that in the best way. Like, it's not like 90s TV show dumb or anything. Well, it's just one of those, like, he knows it's powerful and he's wearing it with absolute pride.
Right.
Like, and for everybody else, it's just one of those, like, do you want to say anything? But I don't know, he's the boss. I mean, I kind of still want to say something about it.
That's as, like, a cape can only look
right.
Like that good. Like,
right. No, man, he's like, this thing's just missing like an evil keytar that he could play like along with it. But like, seriously, he's gonna get beat up in junior high with this thing. Like, you got to quit wearing that to school, buddy.
Riri, you're about to suffocate. I need you to roll a constitution check.
Seriously. Well, that's probably gonna wrap it up for us.
Yes. Join us.
Know what we're watching next week. So.
Next week, well, we'll be talking about the rest of Ironheart.
Oh yeah, we will.
So we'll definitely at least have that in the diaries, if not its own special little segment. We don't really do desserts anymore, but if we did, that would be.
Yeah, if we did desserts, we would have one more week of it with Ironheart for sure. But tune in next week when we're going to talk about Peacock's new comic book based series with Mrs. McMurray, Revival. That's not her real name. So yeah, tune in then, and until next time,
Teens out.
I'm in. Hey, girl. Oh, my bad.